Hey guys, Chrono. And about 3 weeks ago, I went and entered a Sailor Moon tournament. It was completely free, so I thought, why not? And I've never played the game before. You can actually see me trying out moves here. And I found myself in grand finals. And so the people that were there, the hosts, that No Good Citizen and SpaceCake, they had shown me a few characters, and I really ended up settling in on Neptune. And the reason for using Neptune, she has a fireball and an uppercut. And her normals are really good from what I was experimenting with. And so that's all I decided to go with, and played it typically like I would if I were playing like ST, like Super Turbo, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. And as you can see here, I'm just trying to do a zoning game, and then if there's a jump in, using the uppercut right there, like you can see, that Neptune has, just to take out my opponent. And that was my bread and butter, and I figured out stuff as I went, and it was pretty effective. So I'm using the light attacks for the most part there. The reason being, it just seemed to really work. My opponents had a hard time adjusting. Now, granted, I'm pretty sure that my opponents, many of them also, this was possibly their first time. So like the guy that I'm facing here, we were both trying to figure out, okay, how does this character work? That was really good. I missed my uppercut, and there's an appropriate punish. But yeah, so just really trying to zone things out there. And that trap right there, where I did a light into a heavy, was pretty effective because the hit stun is super long on it. Now, the names are reversed here. I'm player 1 and Sai is player 2. So he goes ahead and tries a character change here. And the character that he ends up going with, I think if he would have had more time to try the character out, Venus ended up being a very difficult character for me later in the tournament. And the reason being, the normals that Venus have are just ridiculous. They can really trade with a lot of different things. And so I was really fortunate that I was able to get my game plan established pretty quickly. And so that I really waited quite a bit on that uppercut. And it's got some nice invincibility for what it is. And so it worked pretty well. Now, for those of you who don't know, Sailor Moon was a very popular anime that came to the United States back, I want to say, in like the mid to late 90s. I remember my brother watching it quite a bit. He even got quite a few girls in his class to watch it. And so it was definitely a fun show. You know, it was all about, if I remember correctly, the girls fighting off this evil threat and coming together as a group using their powers. It was pretty cool overall. But as you can see, so that was my first opponent. And so I'm not going to show you the third match just because it was very similar to the other two matches, or it was just a lot of the fireball and then being able to use the uppercut at the right time. Now, my next opponent is against that arch villain. He's a really well-known Super Turbo Bison player, and he's playing Pluto. And this was a great set. I was starting to figure out the character, and his Pluto character was pretty solid. My plan was to do some rushdown, so I played very differently. And the reason being, it looked like he was going for control as well. But I would kind of space it out. You can see he's doing neutral jumping there. And so we're both playing the match as if we were playing Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. That's how we're playing this completely. And so he's waiting for the appropriate time to jump in on me. I'm trying to string together normals so that if he does press a button, just like there, it's either a trade or I end up winning because I've got the priority. And so, and again, I've never played this game before. This is brand spanking new to me. I had 10 minutes to try out some characters, settled in on Neptune because of what you just see right here with that trap, and it was pretty effective. Now, that arch villain is a really good player, so he's going to be able to adjust, and there's the adjustment right there. He sees that I'm not sure how to block that, and so he starts using the move more, and then he starts doing what I was doing to him, using those light normals to string together some pretty effective patterns that makes it difficult. Now, look at this. He goes for the punish there, and it was the right read. He knew I was going to go for the uppercut, and I was very fortunate that I ended up getting that off. So that could have been a very different first game there had I not played that. If he had landed the punish when he correctly guessed on the uppercut. But hey, I was really fortunate, and I will take being fortunate. So it worked out. So more of the same here, going for the corner control. Like I said, that was really effective. Having my opponent in the corner with the fireball, the hit stun is really good. That arch villain, though, finding a way to, get me out or get himself out of the corner, and then notice he's working me into a corner. And so I didn't want that, so I'm trying to get us back to neutral. I figured out how to block that move, and so that was really good. And at this point, I'm also going for guaranteed punishes, so I know that I can get in a little bit of chip against him with that fireball, and then I know that he can't do anything at that point too, so I just go ahead and get the fireball for the cheap win. It is, because what are you supposed to do unless you have an invincible wake up? There's not much you can do. And it was a fun game. I was, for my first time playing this, I see why so many people enjoy it. The Super Nintendo had some really excellent fighters, and I don't think I've even come close to tapping into the potential that I think this game has. It kind of reminds me too of like Samurai Showdown 2, where you can have a lot of fun with it just doing surface stuff, which is exactly what I'm doing with this character. I figured out some things that work, and I just rolled with it. That was the way I played the game. And notice both of us are super patient here too. We're waiting, the clock's running out. I know that, so now I'm pressuring that arch villain, and notice I was able to take the win. But like I was saying, it reminds me of Samurai Showdown 2, and the reason being, you can do surface stuff and win. So right now, both Arshad and I are doing, which is that arch villain, we're both doing a lot of footsies, a lot of zoning at times, because that's what we know from fighters that we play. That's how we play the game. But when you go and you learn more of the different game mechanics that are in the game, there's other options. So like in Samurai Showdown 2, there's the ability to parry your opponent's attack. Lots of people don't know that. See, that was perfect there. If you saw that string, that was awesome. I had some definite combos going on that one. That's why I said if I could string things together a certain way, it worked beautifully. And the cabs that we're playing on here are super, super fun. That arch villain, he gets these awesome arcade cabinets, and they just play beautifully. Look at that, the pressure I'm able to do there. But notice the patience of that arch villain. He totally understands what's going on here. And again, the names are reversed. I'm Neptune, he's Pluto. But yeah, super, super fun, and I would really like to see what else this game can do. I'm pretty sure there's stuff like push blocking and things like that you would see from like Marvel vs. Capcom 3. So I thought to myself, because I was noticing some of the things the chat was saying, I thought, well, this would definitely be interesting to look at. Notice again, we're going to the time, and it's close. Look at that. And he almost gets me there. That was super, super close. And he was definitely figuring out the matchup against me. He was figuring out how I was playing, and it made things super, super close. So As the night went on, I was very surprised to find myself in the semifinals for the bracket. And so now I'm going against another really good player. This time, this player plays Third Strike, and he plays Third Strike very well. He's on the Jazzy circuit, and he's very good. He's definitely an awesome player. And notice we're using the same character and we're doing the same strategy. so, so it's a mirror, and I'm trying to figure out how to properly respond here. I am on the player one side on the left. So notice he won that pretty convincingly, and I thought, okay, here. So we've got a true match, and it went to best 2 out of 3. So I really like that. And then I noticed right there when he went to throw me that I was able to tech it. So I thought, oh, so there's tech throwing in this game. So again, I'm adjusting as I go based on other experience that I have. Notice there's also dashing and backdashing, as you can see. And I like my play here a lot better. I felt like I was way more patient, trying to find that gap, stringing together some normals better. And that's what is going to happen when you're playing against two players that understand fighting games well, is that you're going to adjust and you're not going to keep making similar mistakes usually, and that's going to cause the game to be a whole lot closer. So very similar to how that Archvillains match with me, where he started to close the gap on, okay, so this isn't working, let's try this instead. The same thing happened at the end of that match with Rescue Ryan. So that time I wanted to see how good the uppercut could be. So I decided to test a little bit. That long fireball there, it's got a bad hitbox to it. And again, I'm going for some DPs just because I'm noticing different patterns. Yeah, and he's just doing a really great job of zoning me out here. Just playing the character better. And I'm really trying to see, I am there again, early hitbox. And I found that overhead, and I didn't use it very much against my opponents because I wanted to save it. And I thought if it could take me the round there, I'd go for it. Just an incredible DP though, knowing that I was going to press a button. So again, I feel like we're adjusting, and then he uses it against me. And that's why I was trying to save it. I knew that if I showed it to somebody else, there was a good chance they'd do the same thing. Because the first hitbox won't hit you, but the second one will. So it was pretty good. Notice I'm trying to find my way in, but I'm losing the battle. We're trading and not trading the right way for me. Really great read there to know that I wasn't gonna, that he wasn't gonna do, or that I was gonna do a fireball. So he had the right punish on me, and so that pushes me into the losers bracket. So I'm fine with that because I never would have thought I'd even end up in semifinals. So I thought, okay, that works. And so I'm into what would be losers. I think like top 8 or something like that. So I'm going against another player that's using Neptune. And I can see right away that my opponent knows what he's doing. The uppercuts are flowing. And so a lot of the first round for me is testing what my opponents will do. So I saw that and I thought, okay, so he's really trigger happy with this uppercut. So I'm just going to use that against him and bait it. And that ended up working pretty well. And so he wanted it there, it just didn't come out. And so he takes the first round, and I'm like, okay, that gives me some pretty good information. And so this is where I make the adjustment. So this time I'm going to be way more cautious, really stringing together some more normals. I noticed that he was able to hit me pretty good there. You see, there's that wake up, and he uses the low punch version, which is recovers quicker. So I thought, okay, that's okay. Gets the sweep, went for the uppercut again. Like I said, trigger happy. Look, that's the second one in a row. And I'm just thinking at this point, well, I'll just keep punishing it when it comes down. And then I'm just looking for the right way to string it together. So I saw that he jumped, and then he jumped again, so that's why I had the punish. And so again, he's getting some moves off, but at that point I felt like I had such understanding of what my opponent was going to do. I felt like I knew what to do. In the FGC, it's sometimes called the download. And so once you have the download on how your opponent's going to play, it really changes the way that you might do things. So as you can see, I've made him nervous here because I'm not just jumping in. See, he went for the uppercut again, and I know he's got that down, so I'm not going to keep doing it. I'm looking for different ways to attack, getting that guaranteed chip damage in, and just waiting. Yeah, see, so I'm just waiting there, getting the right punish when he goes for it, stringing together those normals. Now, that was a wicked DP. I mean, he really nailed me with that. That was pretty good. And then I saw that he was going to jump, and so I was able to get the DP off. So, yeah, I mean, it definitely was, working in my favor. And so that's the first game, because we moved it to 2 out of 3 instead of 3 out of 5 like it was earlier, because the tournament was just taking so long at this point. So we go into the next match. Again, I feel like I've got a pretty good understanding of what my opponent's going to do. So I'm walking up and waiting for the uppercut. So just to see if he's going to do it. So, yeah, so there it is. And sometimes I'll even let stuff hit so my opponent will keep that going. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but it usually is pretty effective. Where I'll actually allow things to happen just because it ends up helping me, because they'll think they can do it again. And so notice it worked out. So I was able to adjust, wait patiently, and then have the punish on my opponent. So again, using that early hitbox to get in, trying to string some normals together. This time I'm not throwing the fireball as much because my opponent does have that timing down pretty well. And then he's starting to get a little risky with the way he plays. And so I'm just, again, now I've got the corner. And I really thought that he'd possibly jump, so I went for the air-to-air. Using those fireballs, stringing them together. Yeah, and at this point, I'm in really good control of the match. And then I used that long hitbox stun that's there on the fireball hitting to wrap up the match. So then I find myself, and I think this is losers semifinals, because it's a double elimination bracket, and I'm going against the host. So this is against NOGOODCITIZEN, who runs this arcade. And again, guys, if you've never been to JoJo Arcade in Indianapolis, Indiana, you've got to come. These guys are great. Him and his soon-to-be wife, SpaceCake. The events that they put on are so much fun. Everyone has such a great time. And I mean, if you're not doing something like this, I promise you're missing out if you love fighting games. So I'm going against Joe here, and I was real fortunate. I felt like I was able to get some stuff off early that I'm not sure would have worked as the set keeps going. And he's a really good player. He's known in the Street Fighter V community for his Q. He's also played Guile, so he's very, very good. And so I'm trying to string some things together, but notice he is making an adjustment. I really like that. And looking at that, that almost looked like a double jump to me. I didn't even know that's something that you can possibly do. Went for the uppercut, and I was waiting for it to see if that was something that he might do. So I get the first one, but I know Joe, he's a pro player. So pro players are going to adjust. They're going to think about what they did wrong, and then they're going to make it different. That we just are built different when it comes to keeping and doing things the exact same way. So notice now, he's playing way more aggressive on me, which is right there. He went for the throw there, and I was really fortunate that it didn't go off, because that would have really put me in some big trouble. I just noticed that the backdash can actually go through that fireball. Like you can actually avoid it that way. So that's definitely something I'll keep in mind. I tried getting the trap going. I missed my input there. That's why I didn't trade with the fireball with him. But he's getting things established. He's in good shape here, stringing some normals together. And that was the best decision because he's got the priority. So notice he takes the round back, right? So you can see he's properly adjusted to what I was doing to him, which is what us players are going to do to each other. That it's just how it goes when you get to higher play. Even if we don't play the game very often, as you're seeing here, we're still going to try and find a way. Notice I had some good corner control. I'm fine with that trade. I was waiting for that uppercut. I did try to string an uppercut together there and just missed it. But everything going okay. I'm fine with this because I just want to see if I can take the round. So now it's one apiece. And I'm thinking, okay, if I can continue that pattern that I had, I think I should be okay here. And so Joe, again, responding, being way more logical with that. Look at that string. Look at that. I'm down to half my life there. I mean, he just really brought it to me. I thought that was so good by him. So I thought, oh crap, I'm in serious trouble here. And look at that. And then strings that together. And I'm thinking, this is not looking good. So now it's 1-1. And then the person who wins this will find themselves in losers finals. And so I'm thinking, that's not good for me. So I take a moment, and I always do that. I just like to regroup, get my thoughts collected, think to myself, okay, what went wrong there? And what went wrong is I didn't block well enough. And so notice I'm trying to make sure I make that adjustment, finding the proper way to get in. And Joe's doing the same thing. So notice we both have a very good read on what the other is planning on doing here. And I went for the classic Ken double uppercut there, and it did pay off. That was very helpful. Now I've got the life lead, so I just kind of space a little bit. I went for the fireball and shouldn't have there. I should have went for an uppercut. And then he's making the comeback here. Look at that. And then, I go in there. And what I ended up being able to do is I was able to go for the overhead. And I hadn't used that on him yet. I purposefully was waiting because I wasn't sure if he was aware of it either. But I thought this might steal the round for me. Notice I've got the corner control, everything going the right way. I wasn't sure if he'd jump. He's going, and this time I'm just being real patient. I'm fine with that trade, and I'm just literally waiting for him to do something, and there it is. So it was a really great set. Both he and I thought played very well, adjusting to each other. It was very fun. So now I'm in losers finals, and it's a rematch. It's between me and Rescue Ryan. And so again, we both are playing the same type of character. He totally read what I was doing there, and he had been watching me play, knowing that I tried to get that early normal in and played it very well. Notice he knew I was trying to bait the uppercut, and so both of us just really doing a good job of playing a little bit different here, waiting for each other to figure out what they're going to do. Goes for the uppercut thinking I'm going to throw out another normal, which was the right decision, 100%. And so, yeah, just a fireball zoning game now. Gets the throw, which did mad damage. That was really good. Yeah, look at that. And the clock is starting to wind down. That's a big deal. It's an absolute problem. So, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, I just got to do this right. Wait. And I think he went for an uppercut there, and it just didn't come out. And I'm just trying to take the pressure. And so I will gladly take the time win. So I have no problem. A win is a win. And however I get it is how I get it. So again, and I went for the overhead just to establish some control. able to get the uppercut, and then I'm able to start this fireball game. I'm fine with that trade because it was some pretty good damage. Getting it established again, and he's able to finally get out. I'm able to tech that time, and notice he's making the comeback though, really adjusting to what I'm doing. I'm trying to be patient. He went for a throw, I think, there, and then that's where that early normal was just so good. So I'm up one game, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, hey, I made the right adjustment. So that's good. But again, it's Rescue Ryan, so I know that he's going to do the same thing, being such a great player as well. And again, this is a Super Nintendo game. I mean, look how advanced this is. Whoever created this, I don't know the game developer, but I thought to myself, man, this is clean. I mean, this is a pretty solid game. I tech, but notice I can get punished out of that. I didn't know that. So that was pretty interesting, looking at that. And for those of you who are watching this video and you play this game professionally, I would love to know what kind of stuff is properly supposed to be happening. Because I know, I'm assuming many of us, this was our first time playing the game. And I would really like to know what should this look like at a more professional level. Like, what kind of things would you like to see? So notice it's looking bad for me, but I went for that overhead. Again, I didn't abuse it because I didn't want it to be something that was used against me a lot. And notice it did mad damage because Rescue Ryan, he had that round. One more chip and I was dead. And so notice he's really adjusting here. I'm not looking too solid. And I go for it again, get the uppercut, and now I'm trying to trap. And I'm starting to gain some control, get that big hit stun. Notice it caught him on the jump, and he jumps again, and I'm just really trying to get that in. He's having a hard time getting out, and I'm able to take the round. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm actually going to find myself in grand finals. And so I didn't anticipate that. That was definitely not something that I thought was going to happen. And so I'm going against the other co-host of the event. I'm going against SpaceCake. And if you don't know SpaceCake, she's also on social media. Her and Joe have been together for quite a long time. And they both do such a great job running these events. It's very fun. Now, Neptune or Venus, and again, the names are switched. And I'm not sure why that kept happening. It just did. But Venus is really good. I got to watch SpaceCake get into grand finals, and the normals are ridiculous from this character. Everything trades and more likely in Neptune's favor. Look at that fireball. I thought, oh gosh, this is not the game I want to play as a zoning game. And so I'm trying to just figure out, how do I get properly in here? Went with that early move, and look at this. She's bringing it back on me. Look at that. Oh, I was so fortunate there. I thought, oh my gosh. And so she plays this character beautifully. I mean, she really does. It was very difficult as we were going through the match, because I just thought, man, she's got this zoning game down. And then when she needs to go in, she does. She does a really nice job using the normals. So I'm just trying to be patient. Look at that. I just get close and she just hits me with that move. She knew exactly what to do there. I even tried doing the overhead, thinking, okay, can I get in there? No, she's just keeps punishing me. So playing super defensive, which is really effective, because if you don't have a way to properly get in and apply the right pressure, you're gonna have a hard time. So I'm trying to be more aggressive here, and it's not working in my favor. I was thinking I need to do something though, and it did at least push the pace. And so I'm trying to get in. Look at this. It's so close, and I'm just barely able to squeeze out that win. So it was an awesome first match for our grand final set. So she goes back to the character select, instantly locks in again, choosing her character. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm looking okay, right? You know, things aren't too bad here. So we go ahead and start, And again, more zoning. We both had the same mindset with that. Let's do a little zoning to start with. I don't know what that move was, but it was very interesting. That one that goes up, it's hard to get in if she times that right. And notice her zoning is much more effective than mine. The fireball just does not work as well as I'd like it to in this matchup. So I knew I needed to be more aggressive going in. It was the only way I felt like I was gonna be able to make it work. The throws I saw also have priority over some of the special moves, so they'll still come out. And I noticed, I'm like, yes, I might be one round away from resetting the bracket. I'm like, yeah, this is looking good. So we go in again, and now she kind of changed things up a little bit too, going more air to air with me. And again, she plays often. And again, when you're going against different pro players, we're going to adjust. And notice she's adjusting just fine. And I'm having a hard time getting past that move where that, whatever that is, it's like a whip thing coming out. I was having a real hard time there. So we keep it going, and she sees that strategy was working. And so she does what I would do. If it's working, keep doing it. So she just keeps going in. Look at that. Did you see that trade? That trade was ridiculous. I hit her with the uppercut, and it does this very small damage, and hers does all this great damage. I thought, oh man, this is trouble. And so just like that, I'm on the ropes here, and she gets me with the sweep. And I'm like, ah! So now it's one game apiece each. And SpaceCake just doing her thing, making it work. As you can see, I take a moment. That's always what I do. It's so... I mean, just that's how I think. Because I like to remind myself, okay, what happened here? Rescue Ryan, I'm pretty sure had said something to me, reminding me about those normals against the uppercut. Which, yeah, he was dead on. And so notice I'm trying to be a little different with how I play, just blocking. And waiting for a proper time to jump, which worked really well. Going for the overhead now, trying to almost abuse it in a way. And this time I thought, well, if I trade, I trade. I'm going for that uppercut. So I get the first round. I'm like, yes, that is working well. And now I'm one round away from being able to reset the bracket and then hopefully win in the next set. And SpaceCake just doing a great job using her normals and also just adjusting. That's what made this so much fun, is when you have a player adjusting just like you are, and it truly becomes that chess match. And again, we're just playing like we do, using things like we normally would. I did try to switch it up a little bit. And I went for the uppercut, and so good. Look at that. She just shuts me down. And I got that early normal out. And there it is. We have the reset. So I'm like, yes, I have a chance. And I don't know if you guys can see it in the bottom screen there, but there's this statue of a cat. And it's by what looks like to be a box fan. We're playing for that. So that was the prize if you win first place, is this cat. And, and I thought to myself, if I win this, oh good gosh. Because I'm pretty sure that my wife would be like, why are you bringing something like that home with you? But anyways, back to the match here. Notice SpaceCake doing such a good job with those normals. And so just like that, she's up one round here in the reset of the grand finals. And so again, I'm trying to make adjustments, using some more priority normals. And man, this is so good. I mean, just really doing a great job with the normals of this character to make things difficult for me. And look at that, that was safe. That move was safe. So I'm trying to do some zoning, or a trap with the fireball. And I'm thinking, okay, not too bad here. And I just trade. I'm thinking, okay, I got the life lead, I'll just trade. Okay, so one apiece now. And I'm thinking, yes, All right, it's looking good. There's a chance here. Man, just doing such a good job. Look at her keeping me out there. You know, I mean, that was excellent. Everything's going right for her here. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm in trouble. Finally get the uppercut off to get the pressure, and then I just start getting the rush down, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got a shot here. Go for the sweep, get the priority in, and I'm thinking, yes, yes. And there it is. And I was able to take that first game, and I thought I was going to lose it. I did. I thought I was going to lose that first game. But no, I was able to take it with a crazy comeback. I was very surprised. So here we are now. And again, it's such a close match. It felt like such a fun grand finals because of that back and forth that we were able to have. And again, she's got the life lead on me. I mean, this is serious stuff. It's I get in though, and that's what I keep going for. And like I said, I'm abusing the overhead at this point. I'm figuring, why not just keep going? And I just keep attacking. And so there it is. I get the first round, and I'm one round away from being able to take the tournament. And again, I had never played this before. This was my first time playing this game. I had 10 minutes to work with this character, and I figured out some stuff, and at this point I'm just trying to do a rush down situation, and she's responding very well. Starts zoning me, which I thought was really good, and then I'm like, oh crap, she's making the comeback. So now we're back to even. I'm like, oh no, oh gosh, is this about to happen? So I string together the normals, and the combo takes it of the normals. And there it is. I actually was able to win the tournament. It was super, super fun. Okay, so at this point, I am being given the cat statue. And yes, I was very proud that I was able to win it. But taking it home, I don't think would have been the best option, because knowing my wife, no, that would not be something she'd want to see. So what we're doing now is SpaceCake had said she'd like to see it be smashed. And so Joe decided that he wanted to kind of get everything set up in the process. And so there's a few things that they're doing at this point to get that ready. And so I'm just holding it, waiting for directions. Okay, so what do you guys want to do? SpaceCake and I get a quick picture, which I think was for like social media. I'm honestly not sure. So I'm just following instructions at this point. And so lots of excitement over the idea of me breaking the cat. And so they want to make sure that it's done properly on stream. So they've got me set up where they want me to stand. And they're just making sure they have everything exactly the right way. SpaceCake's about to take down the top camera that you see there, and she wants to get the full moment captured, where it's actually going to be shown here on the ground. So she really wanted to see this thing end up getting destroyed, and honestly, it was kind of fun to see what would happen, right? You know, that's pretty exciting to do something like that. So I'm going to show you guys what the actual video looks like, though.
Congratulations on winning Sailor Moon. Tonight is the night to kill the cursed cat. Let it rip.
All right.
Yeah! Yeah! No, we're great. No, that was perfect. That was perfect. Yo, let's fucking go.
So if you weren't able to make it out, there I go, I smash it. And my first response is what a parent or what a teacher would probably be thinking, is everyone okay? Because as soon as I smashed it with all that force that hit the ground, I thought to myself, oh my gosh, What if I just ended up injuring someone accidentally? And so I'm looking around, making sure, is everyone all right? And then I'm thinking, okay, everyone's fine, but are the arcade cabinets okay? And so I start asking everybody, are the arcade cabinets all right? We're able to watch it back there, and that's why we're laughing in the video there. We're watching the playback, laughing pretty hard over the idea of this cat being smashed. And supposedly it had like maybe a curse on it or something. So it was really fun. And again, that's why these events that Joe hosts are just so much fun. You just never know what kind of random stuff is going to happen that just really adds to it. And for those of us who were able to stay for the whole tournament, I felt like this was a really great way to finish things up. And so notice I have made a motion for a broom. Yes, that's right. Again, the parent side coming forth here, the teacher side. Oh, we've made a mess. Now how do we clean it? You know, it's so I'm talking to Rescue Ryan there of, hey, do you know where a broom's at possibly? And there I go, successfully locating the broom. Oh my gosh, my dorkiness, it's so bad here. So I start sweeping. But guys, that was my run with Sailor Moon. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. I enjoyed sharing it with you. Also, we'd love to have you guys be subscribers to the channel. If you ever want to catch what I'm doing live, I'd love to have you guys be part of my Twitch community. But if you want to watch the guy who hosted this, No Good Citizen, he has all these great games that he's playing. You want to follow his channel. It is terrific. Hey, thanks again for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.
But I wait for your next challenge.
I know that you'll be back.